We got a rank 69er here. Oh, hopefully it's going to be nice because Order of the Dragon, it looks so good recently. This Civ, people are still puzzled, confused, and trying to find the way that it feels good. Giljardi, only one thing feels good to this man. He's looking to touch that #1 spot on the leaderboard, but starting to slip a little. Down to 11th place right now. Unacceptable for our top-ranking Scandinavian player. How do you fix that? How do you get that quick elo inflation? Of course, you just pick out your Byzantine credit card and scan it. On a map like Lipany as well, a pretty easy-peasy pick. Definitely would favor the Byzantines here, so I'm curious to see actually what this player in the red has in mind. Just to kind of recap like what I just said there, they are, I think it was 69th. With, yeah, exactly, with 1,795 elo. Giljardi, meanwhile, has 2,117 elo. This boy is fat and inflated. I'm actually impressed with how Giljardi is quite consistently just keeping right near the top of the leaderboard. And it's not like he's doing it at a time of the day where it's free wins, right? Like, you're talking about him being active in the hours when Dimmu is always on, when Louis is always on, Lucifer, Vortex. And we've seen him take games quite convincingly against all those players. It has me positive about the future, right? Like, it's all well and good having these cool, talented players we've seen before, like Reen Lord, Beastie, from Vortex that dominate these tournaments. The upcomers like Puppy Paw and Wham. But I'm looking for the upcomers after the upcomers. We talk a lot about Louis for that. But I also think it's cool to see the likes of Giljardi, even people like Numenon starting to make a resurgence. Grand Winery coming in makes a lot of sense. This matchup, win conditions is an interesting thing to highlight here. For Order of the Dragon, I think the win condition is in Feudal Age. You want to play fast and you want to play furious. There is a potential opportunity with Landsknecht in Castle. I just don't think you need to go that deep. It makes a lot more sense to play men at arms and play tempo in the early game, especially when your opponent gets a forward spawn in gold like this. In fact, double forward spawn in gold. He has got one retractor behind that might make it a bit more difficult to dent, but overall, it is your best time in the game. For the Byzantines, Giljardi's goal should be to hunker down and get up in age as quickly as possible, right? You want to commit just enough to survive, but not too much. In fact, you want to hear something very interesting? You're going to jolt your head around and give me a confused face like a puppy in a sec. I think the best contract in this game is the Eastern contract. Because the one play that can kill you early on from Order of the Dragon is Men at Arms. And the best solution to that is actually to play Keshiks. Love the Pocket Eco already from Red. This is becoming more and more popular. I think I just have to agree, it is the most optimal way to play the Order of the Dragon right now. And also it frees you up to go mine work, which is important for this all-in feudal timing we talked about. You feel validated for only playing Eastern now? Dude, you know Mongols have been nerfed too hard when your only way of playing Mongols is to play Byzantines. But it makes a lot of sense, right? Because the whole idea is you can charge in and then back away from the men at arms. So you dent them over time. And if you have to commit to a fight, you have pretty good base damage, some neat armor, and then on top of that, you can sustain through the fights. Now, you might say, oh, but KP, you can build a spearman. If you start building spearmen as Order of the Dented, though, you have less dive to your comp, right? Those units aren't going to be able to get in easily. And I actually really like Archer Keshiks to defend with for the Byzantines. Rax dropped. Limitane actually coming in first. I mean, you need some sort of front line, right, to begin with. You can't just wait for the mercs on their own. And in fairness, Limitane, they do have more base health than standard spearmen, so they can actually take quite the walloping. I don't think it really matters much against Gilded Archers. You're going to die either way against that unit. But definitely against the opening plays, the alternative ones, it's your bread and butter. I've got a funny feeling we might be looking at Javs here. The reason you go Javs over Longbows, by the way, is Javs' base damage is higher than Longbows. Ergo, they do more damage to men-at-arms. And on top of that, you counter Gilded Archers more easily. And it also allows you to attack. If you don't go for the Javs and you go Longbows instead, you can't attack. And oh! We look at that. We've got an Eastern contract boy on the way. It's justified even further by the fact that Red's playing pocket economy. And in fact, he's being a greedy mother ducker. This is fast castle. I don't think this is going to be a very pretty fast castle. That's Keshik's being queued up already. Limitane is going to arrive. That shouldn't be enough to scare him away. Well, okay, he's going to be scared away. I'm surprised by that. I don't think Red had to run there. This actually hurts his timing that he's retreating. He could have kept gathering. He should have sent the scout to see for the Keshiks. Because if the Keshiks aren't coming yet, and there's only 2 Limitane, you can gather 1 more load before you get scared away. I think he just didn't want to get bogged down there, right? Like this classic castle age brain behavior, right? Like when you want to get castle quickly, if you have to spend time shivving, it doesn't matter that you're a very chunky unit that's not going to die. You're having to shiv 100 HP spearmen. It just feels really bad. Which mercs to the market? Dude, I love how people always like, which mercs can you get from the marketplace? Even though the players are never going to go for it. There you go. I'm not even going to talk about it. You can stop and rewind if you want to see. There is no way we're going to get any merc from the neutral trade post. I would love to see it. I actually think there's only 1 map right now where it feels super viable. Actually, 2. Lipany spawns where the merc house spawns close, or the trade post rather spawns close. Yes, this is not one of those. The other map where you can actually do merc house play on the trade post is forts, because forts spawns a trade post between you. So tech up should be coming soon from red. They've already prepped the stables, so everything's kind of known. This is really bad, actually. Opening with stables when you already see Limitane and the Keshiks, this is going to be very difficult to get out. I actually would have preferred that red had gone for probably just Spearman. Spearman would have got you a lot further here. I guess he's worried about getting countered by archers and age behind. But this is going to make it very difficult to find the fights you're looking for. Meanwhile, Kiljardi not rushing his tech up. He's got a decent amount of olive groves already in. The olive grove spamming is kind of ridiculous. Like, I actually think the olive groves need to be nerfed. And this is coming from a person who thinks first buff, not nerf first. These farms are by far the best farms in the game. They get 20% additional food, or additional resource rather, right, via the olive oil. They get more under the Grand Winery, it's 32% actually. On top of that, for some reason they only cost 60 wood. So they're already a better farm, they cost less, right? Let's blow your mind even further. Every time you build one of these, you get stone as a tax rebate. I think it's 12 stone, which equates to a 20% savings. And why is that stone kind of broken in this build? Because you need the stone to get the cistern levels for the gathering buff. You have this very beneficial complementary arc when you go into olive groves. It just fulfills itself over time. 8 stone. Okay, yeah, thank you. 8, not 12. 12 is... I think 12 is a building this size, right? 8 is still quite a lot, though. On a 60 resource structure, that's almost a 15% rebate. Dive coming in. Nice move of the horseman. Oh, he actually got him as he was garrisoning. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that was unnecessary as well. Like, the Akratoy, did he delay it? I think he might have activated it slightly late. If he didn't, that just shows you how insane a Gilded Horseman is. Even with Akratoy, he dies there. Then again, this is a game where Kiljardi decided not to go wheelbarrow, so shame on him. Wolves are at least going up. Unfortunately, I don't think they should be successful here. Horseman could easily snipe this villager. Instead, he's going to run by. Love this from Kiljardi, by the way. He's walling in the relics. We don't get to see it very often, actually, in this particular type of matchup, but it's a smart read. Because Order of the Dragon went for Cav, right? This is the classic counter you used to see to get HRE, because when they go Cav, they don't have much torch damage. The farms are uneven? What do you mean? They're beautiful. Look at them. It's like, if he now fills them around there, it's actually perfect, guys. It's like a little 8-bit character. So what is the way out now for red? The relics is a very big question mark right now. This is a terrible way to begin, just going off these type of fights. Like, he's going to clear the Limitane, but he needs to now get some healer boys out fast. That is cool. That's what I needed to see is Landsknecht, but he needs Spearman as well. You're up against Keshiks, you know it's the Keshik contract. If you just build Landsk on their own, they're going to die to cycle charges. One issue for Kiljardi, he can't stop this gold gathering. That was quite an expensive dive. A lot of damage done actually onto the Keshik. Courtesy, of course, of the mine work, getting in the Steeled Arrow so early. But this is a tough game, guys. 3 mid-relics have been wolves, and the final one's being camped by the full force of the Kiljardi Byzantines. He has got 2 knights, he has got a lance. if you tank the Keshiks with the Knights, possibly you can clear this army, but it's so difficult. It's so much easier just to add in 2 spears. Instead, he's going to add in a second Landsknecht. Now, I know that I've said Landsknecht are the best unit. In fact, we just had a video released the other day highlighting just they are the best unit that Order of the Dragon has. But there is such a thing as a bit of overkill here, right? Like, even though these units are very tanky, if you're attacking an enemy army, you do need something to pad them a bit. I do love the efficiency on red, though. Notice that he's just topping off all the injured units. Has also got Zornhau on the way. So it's very important now, if Killjadi's going to fight, it's full commitment. It's full divide, no hesitation. You have to get a kill when you go in. Killjadi doesn't want to go in right now, so he's peeling it further away. In the meantime, Lance, go through! Oh, no! Exactly how red needed it. Wow. And all of a sudden, relic number 1 is a box that's going to get ticked. He doesn't even lose them. Keshik did try to turn around, but great micro from red again. He sniped down one of the injured ones, right? Yep. And now he's going to get the other one. Are you kidding me? Dude, Killjadi's just getting outplayed right now. He needs to get up in age. He can't hang around any longer. I don't think he's going to get a single kill. He just runs away. I would be so tilted if I was Killjadi. This is brutal right now. The only upside he has is the relics are blocked, right? But everything else is a downside. You're up against 5 Landsknecht. Building Varangian doesn't work. You need to mass crossbows ASAP. Keshiks. I mean, dude, they're not even going to get a prelate kill. For the love of God, kill something. It's in your name. Oh, God, I think it's going to be put in a jar for experimentation by red. This is brutal. And yeah, I'm there with you, Crackety. I don't remember the last time I saw Killjadi trade this poorly. Probably 2 years ago when he'd done Dark Age Men-at-Arms rushes, right? A long, long time ago. These days, he's known as the king of aggression. But that is not the way you can play against Order of the Dragon. I mean, this is the thing. This Civ is so efficient at healing up after the fact, right? And, oh, my mistakes. It wasn't a Regnitz. I wasn't paying attention to this. I got so distracted. So that's how he's able to afford it. Okay, that makes this all that much more cool. I actually think this was the correct play. Because if you think about it, he wouldn't have been able to have this many Landsknecht if he went for the Regnitz, right? The one downside is obviously you need to get the prelates, but that's why you just build a monastery. And if he goes into the inspiration buff now, you basically juice your landscape by an extra like 4 damage. Going for attempt now on the walls. Yeah, I don't know who exactly this is. Someone asked earlier who is red. We don't know the identity. This isn't the Neptune account. It's a different ranked account. I've already marked the Neptune account, so we'll always know when it's there. But this is someone else. Whoever it is, I am thoroughly impressed. That's going to be going... Oh, no, 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 no. That's exactly the kind of fights you don't want to have. In fact, even moving into touch those is a mistake because of the Zornhau. Just look at the damage over time. Whew. Veterancy is at least coming in for Killjadi. The problem I now have is he has to build crossbows, but it feels terrible because you're not getting bonus damage for your fight, right? Like Gilded Landsknects, you're not going to squish them quicker. You feel like you need to go archers, but archers feels bad, right? Like it's almost like if Killjadi could turn back time, he would have preferred to have had Lombos here. Then again, without the Keshiks, he wouldn't have been able to block the relics, right? So it's kind of screwed if you do, screwed if you don't. I wonder, does red just rush Imperial now? I usually say that you want to end the game sooner rather than later, but the way that Order of the Dragon can do that is similar to HRE, and they peak quicker, right? They reach the Imperial faster than other civs. I could see Pastor Swabia quickly making a lot of sense here. Your opponent doesn't really have a threatening army. Instead, he's going to play a longer castle. Now that is very different. Considering his macro, a lot of players would have just chosen Pastor Swabia here. I actually think that the in-page probably makes a lot more sense for him. Because I don't see how Killjadi contests him now. I guess maybe the thought process for red is there's still relics to grab. And relics is important for both sides, right? Like with Brand Winery, it's what's going to allow you to scale into mercs. In the late game as well, things like Nest of Bees, it makes a big difference. I don't think I've seen a player so quickly swatted away like a fly there. Like, this is insane. Ghoulims are now coming out the Golden Horn Tower, right? Like, you're not actively making that choice. Actually, Ghoulims aren't bad against the Landsk because you get the double strike and Lansk don't have armor. So I actually don't mind that idea. I actually think scaling Ghoulims makes more sense than Varangian. The problem is, like, you can't get that much Ghoulim together with this Oliver income, right? The problem with going Varangian here, by the way, is you can't really get close. Varangian are going to be slower than the enemy Lansk, right? So unless Red overcommits, you surround him, you're in trouble. The only way this works, by the way, the way you can use Varangian to win this is you have to pinch the Landsknecht and Berserk. Because the idea is that they'll cleave one side, they won't hit the other, and you just wallop them. The reason that's important, by the way, I actually think whenever your opponent has Zornhau, you need to Berserk. Because if you don't, what ends up happening is the poison over those prolonged fights adds up, right? Because you're now delaying the end of the fight, your opponent's actually getting additional damage over time in those engagements. What other ways could Killjoy play this? Maybe Mangonels? You just need so many Mangonels to kill Landsknecht. You remember when they give that plus 10 HP to kill the Landsknecht and everyone thought they were memeing? Look at these stats! How do you kill it? He has 16 Landsknecht right now. I actually think Killjoy's about to lose the game. He's going in for a fight that he has no right taking. And I think it's because Red's kind of hidden his numbers, right? I don't think he knows just how big the Lance count is. Landsknecht come around the back now. He's in too deep. Killjoy, there's no getting out of this. He knows it. He's going to run south side, but there's already walls up down here. Oh, no. Clear up on the Keshix. More like Kakix. Oh, no. Lance moving in. Cleaves come out. Oh my god! Killjoy's front line's already gone. There's no stopping this. One swipe. Front line gets cleared up. Back line isn't very much better. That poison is just ripping through him. Anyone that somehow survived the initial cleave is barely walking for a few seconds longer. And just like that, Killjoy's entire army evaporates. I like the Moit brings that up. I know there's a lot of people who have been like, just give them marching drills, bro. They just need marching drills. If you give Order the Dragon marching drills, I'm uninstalling the game, okay? I'm going to go and play Age of Empires 3. There is no way anyone is going to justify an increased movement speed on these things to me. Well, I think the balance point, Crackly, is that Landsknecht aren't meant to be easily scalable at 320 resources, 200 of which being gold, right? That's the logic. Like this is the interesting thing, actually. When you think about the Landsknecht balance point, like when you think about Order the Dragon balance point, the mid game is actually the best point because of numbers, right? When you get pop capped out, that's when we start to see this Civ fall off. But we're not there on either side. That's what's smart about Red. I actually like his choice to go this over Palace of Swabi a lot more now that I see it. Because had he gone for Imperial Age, he would have reached peak pop, but he would have given Killjoy an opportunity as well. Now things get worse. If you thought the stats were inflated already, check this. An extra 3 damage, not to mention an extra 1 armor because of Inspired Warrior's Tech. This is the thing that's kind of nuts, right? Like, I focus on the damage increase a lot, but the armor actually matters a lot as well. As was just highlighted by Crackety, these units aren't easily killable. +1 armor might sound pretty pitiful. It's not. And also, it's a nightmare for Killjoy, who's now getting Ghoulims. Ghoulims benefit against targets that don't have much armor. We mentioned they're good against the Gilded Landsknecht. The problem is your opponent now has an extra +1, which is negating 2 damage. For every 1 melee, you're losing 2 damage on your strikes with Ghoulims. Okay, guys, we found the counter. Mangonel Towers. Could you imagine if Killjoy somehow pulls this back off of Mangonel Tower spam? I don't think I would see a clearer example of nerf Byzantines, right? Like, I know it's Order of the Dragon, and everyone's like, oh, they lose anyway. But this is like the one play that makes sense for Dragon right now. There is no unit that is more optimal or efficient than Landsk once you reach Castle Age. This is wild. Horsemen as well. So I guess the idea is you peel the Horsemen, run straight to the crossbows, absorb fire, and then you let the Landsknecht through, right? That must be the strategy here for Red. Horsemen meantime burn through. And you are correct. The Mango Towers do make OOTD very sad because the reality is in that small AoE, you're getting more focused fire damage done, right? I do think that Mangoes are kind of a bait usually against, say, Gilded Archers because it just takes too many hits to kill. So, like, unless you're in late game, it's hard to scale. But for Mango Towers, they're just such an unsnipeable defense, right? That's what makes them so damn good. This is insane, though. I'm trying to think if I've seen a game where a player felt so helpless against the dragons. Even the Men-at-Arms Feudal Age rushes, I don't think they look this bad. Crossbows, get a little bit of a freebie and run like hell. We have actually got teardrop shields coming in. So this is interesting. Teardrop shields with the attack speed increase. That whole idea of Berserk works if you split the fight. But if you run head first into this Lance, you're gonna die. What you need to do with the Varangian is you need to kind of split the attention of the Lance into different directions. Such a big army on both sides. This is where the game gets really puzzling, right? When armies get this big, it's very hard to tell who's going to take the clear edge. Killjoy has a lot of crossbows. This is enough to insta-snipe Landsk, so you have to lead with the Horsemen. But if you split the formation too much, Horsemen will die to Golems. Instead, it looks like the Horsemen are going to roam for a flank. Crossbows, poking. Okay, Killjoy should know something's up right now. He doesn't see the Horsemen. He's not being attacked. Something doesn't make sense here. He just saw a bunch of Horsemen. Now he only sees a few. They're coming back. He has to retreat. Killjoy. Uh-oh. Maybe an overextension. Horsemen get in. And they're going to look for the body block. Commitment coming in. And he pulls the Horseman back. Lance going in. Oh my god! The health bars straight away. Oh, chopped down to half. Horseman with the recommitment. Gulem's trying to stand their ground. There's just nothing left of them. And the Horsemen, it doesn't matter if the Lance live anymore. It's just cav versus crossbows. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen 100+ military evaporate so quickly. That's it. That's GG. 3 relics versus 2 sacred sites, almost a 20 villager lead, about to be bigger. The Landsknecht are on the villages. Killjoy has no comeback to this. The opening moves made so much sense, but this unit makes none. I love the fact the Knights have been waiting all this time to finally spring their trap and go in. Killjoy, we know he's a player not to immediately give up and call it, but this is so far gone, it's unbelievable. Order of the Dented. I think people are starting to cook with this Civ a little. I think people are starting to wake up to just how good the Landsknechts are. Not just for raiding, but as we just saw here, for a direct assault. There are not many Civs that can head off the Byzantines when they get that many Varangian and crossbows together. This was it. And remember how this game began, right? With the Keshik raid coming in to block him out of resources, with the relics being walled off as they were. What a play, though. Everyone's looking at Regnitz thinking that's the way it's going to set you up to succeed. And here's Red, this unidentified player, going, who needs relics? The truest holy sanctum of the dragon has to be the Landschknecht. I think Kiljardi's close to just throwing in the towel at this stage. He's got a TC behind this, but I mean, he hasn't got a standing army anymore, right? And it's now additional horsemen coming, knights as well. Like, this is the point at which you start to just seep and leak more eco. Oh. I'm excited, guys. I shouldn't be. I should be disgusted. Like, I actually should be disgusted by Landsknechts. These things were insane. Kiljardi's like that player where you kill 80% of his economy and he still doesn't GG. He's going to make you go imp for it, right? We have got Rams coming in, so this is kind of annoying for Red, being forced to go into the Rams instead of just doubling down on military. Military numbers have bolstered up again for Kiljardi. It's just, I don't think this changes unless he can take the gold veins away, right? Because it's not Regnants. There's only 3 normal relics. If he can stop the 8k gold vein from being mined, then maybe. I just don't see how he gets there. He barely has any Keshiks. He's not going to have an army. He's trying to build up more outposts to defend himself, but unless you can somehow get a fat keep drop here, I mean, even that, though. Lukewarm oil won't kill these guys. Arrow fire won't kill these guys. Nothing will kill them. Like, you know it's bad when you have to target the Landsnake instead of the Gilded Knight. Right? With a crossbow. Oh my god. I think we're going to be checking out more of whoever Red is here. I need to find out who they are so I can bookmark their page, but oh my god. The only thing that's really missing right now for Red is more prelates. I think you chain heal here, right? He's trying to do it now, which is 2. But like, you get a bunch out here, you keep the buff going everywhere, and you just plow through. And guys, this, like, if he doesn't call GG now, he'll never call GG. If he's not going to call GG to this, Kiljardi's already gotten up out of his seat and gone to the bathroom or something, right? He's basically gone to just scream into a bucket. Is it wrong that I want more civs that kind of have this type of power in fights? There was something so enjoyable about how quick that was. And yeah, the keep drop now by Kiljardi. That's it. He realizes he's late to the party there. GG called. This may actually be the most dominant Order of the Dragon game I've seen against one of the best players in the game right now. And you know what? I'm all here for it. We've been seeing Landsknechts on the rise. We've seen them for eco sniping. Now, we've seen them snipe the unbeatable army of the Civ, considered to be most OP in the game right now. And they made it look so simple.